And we are live now. Andrew,
now. Hello.
Are you finished? You look like you're halfway doing something.
Good afternoon or morning or evening or whatever, really. Hello.
Yeah.
Depends on when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all ready to go. Here we are.
We are.
Already had a little moan up.
Yeah, you're having a
not
moan
moan,
up
it's-
about your phones.
But you understand, though, right? That's like the thing I get annoyed about is like, that's your job. I'm not just randomly moaning to somebody. I've come for your service, and you're telling me there's not a problem with something I'm telling you there's a problem. And I sort of went, all right, maybe he knows what he's talking about. So I've come back, put the phone on, and the problem's still there. Like, what's your job? What do you do on this planet? Because you're getting this wrong. You're getting the thing you're getting wrong. What your job is. So why are you doing this job?
You're only supposed to do one thing, and you couldn't even do that, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, anyway, yes, that's enough about mobile phones. Anyway, it is attached to a newsagent, so maybe I haven't gone to the classes.
Yeah, probably not the best
Oh.
idea. Yeah, they're fine to unlock nicked phones, but other than
I
that-
look past the English language barrier problem, thinking that, but it's...
Yeah. It's all right. Like, if you find a phone, like, they're pretty good for selling it, but
Yeah.
Was
I
this
wouldn't.
newsagent attached to the? Was it attached to the cafe that got your?
No,
cheese and
it's
tomato roll.
No.
That'd be amazing. Like if it was the same people,
that's
but
the
just
same
different,
sort of
slightly
thing.
different clothes.
they do they don't specialize. They just do everything. You know what I mean? If you want to get a bit of fish or your mobile phone fixed or the wrong sandwich, yeah.
But it's a funny thing that like people that in their jobs can't even do the basic thing they're hired to do. Like, that's not me being fussy.
Yeah,
Come
that's a bit of an
on.
odd one, to be fair.
Unless it is the Greek god things. There's somebody just poking me, playing games with my fucking life. Like, what's it, Clash of the Titans, where they start moving the thing.
Moving the pieces around.
Yeah. Because you two don't seem to be like bumping into these people. Do you go into shops and get service?
Yeah, I mean, not for a while, to be honest. You know, what would
What
what
do you
would-
mean? Do you mean do I go into shops and everyone runs away? Like,
I mean, you can, because they're like, oh, fucking hell, that's that guy that, like, attracts weirdos to him like a magnet. So,
yeah, I might get hit by lightning if I stand next to him.
Yeah, exactly. Just spontaneously combust after a conversation.
I was talking about people I'd like to spontaneously combust.
Okay, here we go.
Have you seen the
We've only got an hour and a half there.
Right, here's a
Make it
list.
brief. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the people that pile. If you don't know, in England, everyone just piled down to the beaches for
Oh,
one
yeah,
day
yeah.
for a one day of summer that we've had. It went up from nothing to about 30.
Yeah.
And everyone just crammed onto the beaches, traffic everywhere, parked wherever they wanted, and
Left behind all their rubbish.
yeah,
Started fighting and stabbing each other. Yeah,
Yeah, there was a fight on the Bournemouth. There's a fight.
there was 3 stabbings. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, we deserve extinction.
But just this thing I keep coming back to, there are different levels of human being.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like the Nazi sort of, what they call it, the human beings.
Yeah, there's not like a hierarchy. Yeah, it's not. We're not talking Supermen versus. You know, we're
Yeah,
not talking
no.
Ubermensch. and all that
Ubermensch,
kind of-
yeah.
It's like you have to accept that those people are there, but then you come back
But
to you've gotta
that's at
lead
every
people.
level of society, though, isn't it? You've got trash. You've got, you know, you talk about politicians, and we've got nice politicians, and then we've got the trash politicians.
But yeah, so it's just human beings.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not
That's
a class thing here. That we
Yeah.
No,
No.
yeah. No, it's not. It's not divided by even educational background or socioeconomic factors
Just
or
garbage
race
people
or,
are garbage.
or gender or anything. It's
Everything.
just some people are stupid and some people aren't. Like some people are nice
Greedy,
and some people aren't.
perverse, everything, and it doesn't matter what job you do. It's just it's the DNA of human beings. But then you go back to see, this is what we've got to put in place things to make sure that you can't just go everyone's equal. No. Some people are fucking psychopaths, and things have to be put into place. And to be honest, it's what we've said before. It usually comes down to cash. Remove cash, it gets rid of greedy people. That's one lot done. Violence, you got that. Move them aside. You know, all these sort of things are
Yeah,
quite
but I mean,
simple.
how do we move them aside?
Well, for one, you have to start with politics, because that's politics and business go hand in hand,
of course, yeah.
and that dictates everything below: schooling, policing, everything.
But I mean, like, I saw, you know, there was a screenshot. It was just, but with captions of someone saying, you know, Well, because interviewing people on on the beach, some neck tattooed toss pot, probably there because Love Island was cancelled this
lot
year.
of tattoos on calves, I expect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lots of neck tattoos.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, that's also, I've seen probably about, just as a side note, sidebar to Love Island, I've probably seen about 20 minutes of however long it's been going for, 10 years, I think, probably, who knows.
That's 21 minutes too long.
Yeah, I was going to say. And yeah, it's just, but I watch it and it's always these people, they're all crying, oh, I love him, but it's like, who could have predicted that this neck tattooed, sleeve tattooed toss pot was in fact a toss pot? Or douchebag, actually. Douchebag is more.
This is one of the characters in the Love Island thing.
Yeah, they're always like the neck, and then it turns out like they, because they end up swimming in low celebrity circles, they end up marrying a soap star, and then that relationship, they have kids, and then the relationship breaks down 6 months later, and you go, who could have predicted
he was
that this
cheating
neck
on me
tattooed
with my
douchebag was shagging your sister or whatever?
Well, what are you watching that for anyway?
Well, no, I'm not. It's when other people are watching it. I just go, what even is this? I don't understand.
I'll expand. Why are you hanging around with people that are watching it?
You're in a house. I mean, in the old house share, there was a lot of people watching that. But I mean, my new housemate doesn't watch that kind of shit, so it's fine.
It was surprising who was watching it. Like, genuinely, like I remember having lots of conversations with people in good jobs, people like students and stuff, like people relatively well-to-do, I considered relatively well-educated, certainly with better jobs than I had, and they were really into it. And I was just like, okay, this is all right, fair enough.
I think it's the animals at the zoo, isn't it? It's like, let's just watch them. Let's watch
freak
feeding
show.
time. Yeah. Let's watch them mating.
No,
let's watch them whatever.
I used to watch Big Brother for that fact. I used to watch Big Brother because I liked seeing them cry, and like I fed off, like, because they were stupid people, and then they just cry over nothing, and I just love that. I just used to feed off that weirdness, that energy.
You fed off
their tears. Yeah,
you're like, their tears. You're like Cartman.
You lick the tears.
Yeah. Honestly, that was why I watched it.
Sorry, Kerem, our producer, because I just really didn't expect. I wanted to see them cry. Like, I expected, like, from I want to watch the freak show.
That's actually quite psychopathic. Which just
that was a bit, yeah. No, I fully admit that. Yeah,
because I agree with you, but I'd never say that.
Because these are awful people. These are dreadful, awful people, and I kind of enjoyed watching them suffer.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is,
on some levels, because I was just like, okay, this is fun. Yeah,
it's the only bit of justice you can get from that sort of thing. I just want to see one of you in pain somewhere. Yeah. I feed off the tears.
The tears of unfathomable sadness, I think is a couple. Anyway, God. Yes. So it was, so some similarly neck tattooed toss pot down the beach at Bournemouth, and he was just like, oh, well, I don't know anyone who's got it, so I'm not really that bothered. Oh, well, that's fine then. It's fine if everyone else...
You might be carrying it, but yeah.
A lot of comments were saying, well, what's a spit in the face for the families of the, close to 50,000? Have we passed 50,000? I don't... That's a gross kind of like...
Well, I think the officials they've stopped doing the daily briefings,
Yeah, I have noticed that. But that's probably good for people's mental health. I'm just like, my mum used to like make time for that. And I'm like, why are you watching this? Why do you want to find out how many people are dying?
Yeah.
But also, it was just waffle. I mean, I did watch it. I watched it for a while, and it's just waffle. They didn't say anything of any substance, and they just talked for about 40 minutes, and then kind of buried a couple of facts, like how many people had died, what they'd fucked up today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you say buried, how many people died? Are they just like? So yes, we can look at the latest statistic. 50,000 died, and so anyway, I mean, how are they covering that? How do you not make that a big deal?
But the trouble is with the daily briefings is it means that they have completely, they can completely sweep under the rug, like how many people are dying and the actual numbers, really. Yeah. There's less accountability because the fact that someone doesn't have to stand there every day and say in front of the press call, oh yeah, 200 people have died, 500 people have died today. I think that's actually a bad thing. They, what were we saying?
We were talking about why
is that giant frog behind you making you nervous?
I know. I feel like we need.
It looks like he's looking over your shoulder. Is he from the government?
Yeah. He's keeping an eye.
So for people listening, there is a over Charles's shoulder, and he just casually put it in. He didn't say like, "Oh, by the way, guy." Like we all logged onto Skype. We come on pretty quickly today compared with usual as well. Normally we're rambling for about 40 minutes before we even start recording. There is a hitherto unseen, unmentioned kind of giant frog, but you're saying a crocodile.
It's a crocodile. It's quite clearly a crocodile.
I think it is quite clearly a crocodile. Look at that.
Oh, it's got a bow tie on. That should have gave it away.
He's got a waistcoat and a bow tie, man.
Yeah.
It looks like it should have Mr. Badger and Mr. Frog stood next to him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he should be on the open road with Ratty and Moley. And it's just sitting there. It's oddly staring at the back of Charles, like it's like, yes, that's it. Keep smiling.
That's what I mean. It's quite oppressive sort of thing. Yeah, keep talking, Charles.
Because he's over my shoulder, isn't he?
Blink twice if you need rescuing from the crocodile.
Oh God.
Right. I remember what I was saying.
Oh,
I remember what I was going to say. Hang on, this is important. I think the official numbers were close. Last I checked, to about 46,000. The Office of National Statistics was saying at least 65,000 as of 10 days ago, I think, or a week ago.
So the ONS is not is separate to the government, as it were.
They are
Claim to be.
Yes, they aren't directly. They are. I think they are a government department, but they aren't directly under the control of like Number 10, basically.
But with all those things, you have to then add on 20% of bollocks that they've been hiding and shoving and pushing around to make it sound less. So it's always going to be more. They're not giving you the actual facts. It's always got to be a lot more. Add on 20%.
Well, these are the extra deaths from. I think this is the per capita extra deaths from last year. So this is 65,000 extra people have died over the lockdown period. So now, considering there have been less work, less accidents, less people going around, the death rate's probably been down slightly. 65,000, they reckon, from coronavirus extra.
What's happened in America? Because they closed down, they opened up, and then they're closing down again.
Yes, because they've already hit the second wave, and now the second wave is. I don't think they're quite in third wave yet, but they started to reopen everything, and then they went, oh, actually, probably we shouldn't.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like they've got a nutter in charge who doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
we know better.
Possibly.
Check into that. Better check into that, guys. Yeah, I don't know.
I suppose our nutter isn't quite so willing to just order the army to open fire on people outside of a church.
Yeah,
there's that. Mainly because he'd get the wrong address. And
well, Australia were due to ban vaping as of 1st of July. Like that was
really?
Yeah, and it was just like
all vaping.
Yeah, you're not allowed to import it. You're not nothing. So on the 1st of July
thing. Is that because
I've never actually seen why, but there was a massive kicking off about it the last week, and then 2 days ago he said, okay, they're extending it till 1st of January. But everyone was. I think Turkey's one of the only other countries. That's for little Kerem there. Turkey's a ban. That's got a ban on vaping. So it's like, why is some countries vaping? I think Mexico has them banned.
It's liquid. Okay. It's imports rather than.
So you could.
They're banning rollies. Oh shit.
So strange. Like I don't know what. Like who's in the wrong here? Surely vaping was the better thing.
Apparently, it's to do with I don't know,
money.
Probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it to do with money?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Kerem's not in the recording. So what did he say?
He said in Turkey they're banning vapes and also rolling cigarettes, so sort of rollies and stuff. But all that seemed to be. We guess that was probably because of the cigarette lobby.
I was going to say, you just go, well, who's benefiting from this? Who are we not talking about? Oh, the cigarette companies. I wonder if they're benefiting from it. Oh, God.
Because it is strange, because I know people who don't smoke and who probably have never really smoked and they've suddenly taken up vaping,
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's odd. I don't know what
that's super weird.
Well... Because I don't know, they're like, oh, it's kind of, cool and nice and relaxing and stuff. A lot of people doing like CBD and stuff as well. So,
Yeah, I guess if people want to do, that's sort of cannabis oil, isn't it, really?
Right? Yeah, cannabinoid.
Yeah, because you can get that in Holland and Barrett. You just go down and because it's the
it's a non-psychoactive thing.
Yeah, it's got the bit taken out, isn't it?
But now they're thinking.
THC, yeah.
But now they're thinking it is actually the THC is part of the benefit thing. So taking it out completely isn't really what it's.
I suppose you could have a trace element, could you know?
Or, yeah. Well, it probably has anyway, I'd imagine.
It does have I think it has like a 0.0 like 1 or something. Because that is technically, there is like a legal level, you know what I mean? Because it does naturally appear in some stuff.
Yeah. Just kick the doors off. Just let it all in. For God's sake, just tax everything. Just sort all these little problems out.
That's why I think it's a little bit like prohibition, isn't it? Just you're not going to stop people smoking cannabis, so just legalise it, tax it, take it out of the drug deal. You know, I'm not saying everyone should be able to shoot. You know, I'm not saying people should be able to shoot up heroin left, right, and centre. But you know. But
it's just stupidity.
Really, you know, is it a gateway drug? I don't really know that that's true.
It seems that a lot of countries now, and a lot of states in America, and a lot of countries as a whole, are legalizing it, and they haven't had any adverse problems. You know, in fact, it's created revenue streams, it's generated tax money, and it does regulate an industry because it exists anyway.
The countries that did legalize the drug or decriminalize it, was it Spain? It was over.
Spain has been decriminalised for a while, like possession of hashish and
I think Portugal
Portugal. That's who I'm thinking of.
Portugal decriminalised the possession of all drugs.
All drugs, yeah, and everything went down, and even things they didn't realise, like domestic violence and things, and drink driving, all went down. Yeah, so that's there, but it's like the countries are sort of not mentioning that, even though it's had like incredible results. They're just going, we're still not ready to actually implement things politically. So I
think it's also just inherent, like Portugal is a very safe country.
Okay. I know nothing about Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal is a very safe, like, no one gives a fuck.
But more than any other country? Spain? Same sort of...
Yeah, I would say it depends where you go in Spain.
Yeah, but that's so Portugal must have its own...
Yeah, I think I'm sure it does too, but broadly speaking, it's a very safe country.
Just open the bloody doors.
The Netherlands, they taxed the coffee shops, and the taxation from the cannabis trade goes into drug rehab centres.
Well, that's the only thing that's having all the different parts of the states. The only reason they have been pushing for it is because of the money. It's making a load of fucking money. They're making more from that than booze. So that's the thing that's got to push it through. Again, money. Yeah. Forget the political or health or anything like that. Oh, it can make my state money. Fucking get it in. Just shove it in.
That's all it comes down to, isn't it?
There's a big lobby there. There's a big, there's a lot of lobbying, and there's a lot of money there, certainly. Yeah.
But then you have got the money from the prison system, private prisons, sort of lobbying against it. Oh, I wonder why. Want to keep everything illegal. Keep everything. We want criminals. We want more criminals. And now we've got them over here. So that's nice. A nice little... thing that's come over here, private prisons.
Yeah, I read an interesting article in Forbes about I think he was a Canadian guy, but he was a big entrepreneur, big cannabis entrepreneur, because it got legalized there, I think 2 years ago now. And he was one of the big sort of guys who made a ton of money very quickly off it. And it just collapsed, basically, and because mostly it seemed through mismanagement of his company, and he was sort of running it he was still sort of running it a bit like he was behaving a bit like a gangster at points, you know what I mean? Like
too much money too quickly.
Yeah.
See, William Barr last couple of days, he's been going after all the weed shops now. He's been
really?
And somebody said...
Which one's William Barr, remind me?
So
General?
Justice?
Attorney General?
He sort of looks like the fella behind, the frog behind.
He looks like the frog. Yeah. Oh, no, it's a crocodile, remember?
It's a crocodile.
But yeah, he's been going after it. Yeah, we don't all look alike. He'll have a little plaque next week. So.
William Barr.
But yeah, William Barr, he's been saying... somebody said about him, he's only going after him because he doesn't like weed. It's not even anything to do with anything.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So he's digging into their businesses to say, right, give us your paperwork. Let me see exactly what you've been doing. I mean, forget big tobacco and all that. Let's go over these little people because surely they're ruining the country.
Well, it was a weird thing, wasn't it? Because the states were legalizing it, but the federal laws are still there, I do believe.
Yeah.
So, and also they had a point where you couldn't put they were making money. It was legal to make the money, but the state authorities were saying, yeah, it's fine, we don't care, Philly boots. But then the ATF and the DA and whatever, the federal agencies could come, the FBI could come and raid them and arrest them.
Yeah, so it was weird, yeah.
So they were like, well, on one level it's fine, but then on another level I could do 30 years. You know?
Yes.
and they weren't, and there was this whole thing as well, they weren't allowed to put the money into nationwide banks.
Oh, really?
Because the banks couldn't knowingly profit from money gained through illegal means.
So the federal system just can't handle it legally at the moment. It doesn't know what.
Yeah. So actually, people had to set up local state banks and sort of co-op banks, basically. They had to sort of circumvent this because they were making tons of money, and like there was a couple of years ago, I think in LA, when they sort of legalized it, they were literally like having lockups, full of cash, and they had real trouble with the cash because they just couldn't really do much with it. So, you know what I mean? They couldn't put it in the bank. They couldn't invest
a couple of them did get raided. Like police would just turn up and just like the federal police lock it all down and start arresting people and taking them away. You go, what the fuck? I've got a shop here.
Well, same thing in Holland. Holland has very strange drug laws because you're still technically not allowed to grow it commercially. Like, so the mass grow sites are still do get raided occasionally and are still illegal. So you have this weird, they call it the backdoor policy, where basically the coffee shops are only allowed to keep 500 grams on site at any one time, which isn't too much, to be honest. Because I think they can sell 5 grams maximum a day per person.
And how much would that be in terms of, like I have done drugs, but I don't really know. I'm always just like, if someone's passing the doobie round. So I never really know, like, what's 5 grams? What does that work out in terms of, like, say, as a joint?
I think an eighth is 3.5 grams.
Okay, I still don't know what that means. Like, what? How many joints? That would
be like 20 quid. So basically, like a 20 quid bag be about, realistically, probably about anything between about 2 to 3 grams.
That's like a week's worth of.
But that's what I mean. Like, how many joints do I get out of, like, on it? I know, obviously, some people.
It just depends. Just depends. But yeah, 5 grams. 5 grams weighed.
Look at him pretending like he doesn't know exactly how many it would be.
5 grams weighed of the thing would probably be quite a bit. So
okay, fair enough. So that would tide you over, as it were.
Be a little bit.
Yeah, you're not going to become rich on selling it, though. That's the point. That amount isn't a lot.
No. But the coffee shops basically have to have this weird thing where they have to have stash houses and then have more sense to them. They have runners literally constantly bringing more stuff in because they.
Theo's just sent us an emoji. That was very strange.
Oh, sorry.
You must have just leaned on your keypad.
It was showing up for ages, and I thought I'm not going to touch it. And then I thought, fuck it, let me click it to get rid of it. And it obviously popped up. Sorry.
Wow, Theo really likes this Amsterdam conversation.
Yeah, for the listeners, we just had, because we're doing by Skype, we just got a really weird smiley face emoji.
There's a load of emojis sticking up on the screen, and I didn't want to touch them in case, it's doing it now. Oh, I know. So my cursor is over the heart. Yeah. It brings them up.
Oh, I could have had a nice little heart there, Charles. Yeah, I think it was quite good as well because it's almost on your face. So it's like, now we've got to cry laughing. Yeah.
Yes, if I put my face here.
Let's do it. Like... Oh, shocked.
Cheeky.
Right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, anyway, sorry. That's for the YouTube listeners.
Yeah. That's a little bonus.
That's a little bonus, yeah.
Exactly. That's
Plus the giant frog. We're not
you've got to go to the YouTube. You've got to go to YouTube for this.
Yeah, we're not on LSD. This is real with what we're talking about. So the vaping, the turkeys there, that's sort of held off. Is it legal? You can smoke it here and buy it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it's sort of, you can, under a certain amount, I've always assumed. Like, it's one of those weird things. It's kind of discretion, isn't it? Almost, I would say.
Oh, what? We're talking about cannabis or vape?
Yeah. Like, it's still illegal, isn't it? But it's
cannabis is out to Class B now.
Yeah.
So but I mean, I see people smoking in the street. So you're not going to get arrested if you've got a joint on you.
They're not going to bother.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, you can get what they do is technically it is still Class B drug, and technically that comes with a 5-year prison sentence for possession.
But that's for selling, drug dealing.
No, well, technically possession.
Oh, right.
Comes with the class. Comes with that. You're not going to get arrested. Realistically, you're not going to get arrested. What they do is they do cannabis cautions now, where they give you a caution, and if you pick up, I think 2 or 3 of those, it's just like a speeding ticket kind of thing. Okay, it's like a warning.
Yeah.
And if you pick up, I think 2 or 3 of those, then it goes to a criminal conviction. It actually goes to a proper criminal conviction that goes up on your record, and then they'll start. But you're probably not going to do any time. You won't for possession, just for having like a spliff on you, or whatever. But they might fine you, or they might say, oh, you got to go to do 5 hours of drug rehab counselling or whatever. You know what I mean? Or community service, some stupid thing.
I imagine though, if you're someone that they, in inverted commas, want to get, that's very much in their back pocket.
Suddenly it'll be the most horrific. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
well,
if you're a protester,
somebody told me ages ago, he said, with all these driving fines and all that, he said they actually want everybody to be a criminal to a good degree. So then they've got you on a system somewhere. You know, whether it be a police thing, a driving thing, or a low-level drug thing, they want to have you somewhere on a system. They want everyone to have some sort of little criminal thing that we can, even if they're letting you off, we want to have everybody on a system. That's my Big Brother thing.
Yeah, no, I can totally. It's like ID cards.
It's a caution, but as long as we've all got a caution, we all sort of know who you are, photographs and DNA. I remember when I got my DNA taken for, I think I had a fight in a club and somebody got their finger broken, said I did it. And they took my DNA, then they sort of let me off with it. And then I said, "Oh, is that going to get get rid of my DNA?" And I said, "Oh yeah, we have to by law." I was thinking, bollocks. If something happened against the government, that will pop up, mate. That's on that bloody system. That's not going anywhere.
I think there have been. Sort of exposés that they don't destroy.
Do you remember there was oh bloody hell, what was it? This thing about this Me 21. What's the thing with your DNA? What's 21 on me? 21 on me.
Yeah.
I have to
family
keep saying to people, yeah.
That's ancestry, isn't it?
Yeah, so, it's one of the worst things. You're literally selling your fucking DNA and the DNA of half of your children, for free, just for fun. It's not even that specific. You get 2 different things back if you send 2 different in, saying you're different things. So it's not even that specific, and you're putting your DNA just online to just go, there you go, it's for fun, right? But they're being used a lot because originally the police weren't allowed to have a look at these things, and now it's up to the people who own the company to say whether they can or not, and you have to click it in the terms and conditions, which you're not reading anyway, whether they can sell it on to private parties, which most people are just clicking anyway. But in America, they've been catching quite a few people by going on to these. Like, you've done something wrong in 20 years ago, and you're still doing it. I mean, if that doesn't show your stupidity to put your DNA online. But there was one guy, and I think it was in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin,
he was murdering. It was one of those things that went on for like a couple of decades, and they didn't know who it was. Not like a mass murder, but I think he killed about 6 or 7 people, and they couldn't figure out.
That's pretty mass, you know what I mean? That's
but he's not going out with a machine gun. It was just like one person every sort of couple of years, that sort of thing. And oh God, how did it work now? So they used the DNA found at the woman like 20 years ago, and the DNA that was found on her because she was raped. Suddenly popped up on one of these DNA things.
Yeah,
but not this. But that guy's. It was like a cousin of the DNA.
It was a familiar or whatever. Yeah.
So they went to find that person, and it turned out, I think it was a cousin. It was something like that. So they found out this bloke. Obviously, he hadn't done it. So they kept his details. They went and found out. Oh no! I'll tell you what. It wasn't a cousin. There was 3 brothers. That's what it was. So. They went to this DNA, this little thing DNA that popped up that was on this woman from 20 years ago. One of the brothers had done this DNA thing online. They went and got him. He did the test, and it's like, yeah, the DNA is partially his. So then they found out he's got 2 other brothers. One of the brothers,
the Golden State Killer?
Yeah, I think it might have been that.
Yeah, I think I've heard it. I think I read something about that.
So the other brother didn't want to do it. So what they did is they went through his trash and got some of his stuff out and realised that he was a match as well. So then they realised that, but they found that the 2 of them they couldn't have done it. But there was this one third brother, and they tracked him down, and they got him by. So he hadn't done this test. They just realised 2 of the brothers with this DNA had never. There's no way they could have done it. So the third brother they found, they realised it must be him. They set up, there was some weird thing in the street, a competition. They were paying like 50 quid for information, political thing. He stopped, he signed the thing. They gave him the envelope and said, can you seal it? Because they're not allowed to look at it. And he licked the envelope, gave them the envelope. They took that envelope away, tested the DNA that was on the envelope, and it was him. And they found out that's how they done him. Like, just in the street, they were random, said, let's pretend we're setting up this thing. And they said, oh, yeah, can you just, you have to seal that envelope for us because we're not allowed to know the answers. So he licked it, and then that's how they got him. But yeah, so it's good. He was a fucking nasty bastard. Well, it wasn't like funny. But yeah, so the DNA thing, mate, that's how you get you. But you got to knock all these things on the head. You can't be using your swiping everything. Even when I play for petrol, I try to use cash, just so I'm off the grid a little bit. You don't know where I've been and where I've gone and where I've jumped off and on and what shop I've popped into.
Yeah, but you had to withdraw that cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that don't mean anything. That cash can
from
go
an
anywhere.
ATM. No, but it logs it, doesn't it? It'll log like your.
Yeah, but if you're taking out cash once every couple of weeks, it's different to going. Just seeing where I got off that train station there, what shop I went into there, how far or which direction I was walking, because I went to a shop there and a cafe there, came back, got on the train there, came back off what time, went to the, and it's all those little things, but it's the things that keep sliding through. You just keep letting little things through to the point where we are now, the generation that goes, well, I'm not bothered about privacy. What are you talking about? I put my DNA onto the internet for fun. That's what we've come to now.
I was thinking about this the other day because I got sort of friends and family who work for unions and stuff, and most of what they deal with is people getting into trouble at work for things that they have done, for silly things, nothing major, often nothing major, but silly things like they got drunk one night on a Saturday night and like they're getting in trouble at work for that. Or, I don't know, they went on holiday and smoked a joint in Amsterdam. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they're coming back and they're losing their job as a teacher or whatever. It's just like, even though that's illegal there or whatever, you know. And it's because people are stupid and they post all this stuff online. And it's the complete eradication of your personal and private life. You know what I mean? Your sort of private and public life, sorry. That's just gone. That line, that delineation has gone, and this often has an adverse effect on your work. You know what I mean?
Well, there was
on your
woman
professional
in
life.
America the last couple of days. The one I can't remember her name, but she had the Confederate flag, and somebody was filming her. They went to some Black Lives Matter meeting, and then they had the Confederate flag, and the woman was saying, "Yeah, blah blah blah, KKK and all that." And then
she was in favour of it.
Yeah, she's and then so job sacked her. And so then she came out and she said, I wasn't saying support the KKK. She was saying I was being funny about it. I was like being ironic. And you're going, well, you're waving a Confederate flag.
Yeah, I think that's the last refuge.
It was ridiculous.
It was like, it was satire.
It was a joke. I was joking.
Well, that's the Trump thing.
I mean, I'm not sure why generic Northern woman is in America, but...
No. Well, no, because I always remember, what's her name? Oh, who was the blonde lady in... Oh God,
Bread,
the girl band, and then she had a reality TV show.
I have no
clue. Oh, she's a real garbage person.
Britney Spears?
No, she's English.
She was blonde in a girl band.
Oh God,
Spice Girls.
I was going to say the only Spice Girls.
Was it Girls Aloud or someone? Or
oh God,
she was like a little fat blonde woman.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's your point anyway?
She turned up on GMTV just drunk at like 9 a.m.
Oh, Kerry
Katona, yes, she turned up and like no, it was this morning, and like she gave this interview and she was just it was like 10 a.m. and she was
sort of slurring, wasn't she?
Fucking
quite
wasted.
heavily.
Well, she was wasted.
Wiping the nose at all? Wiping the nose at all?
No, not even that. It wasn't even like kind of you know, it wasn't even like kind of it was just more like. It was more like,
God.
And half, like, couple of questions in, like, Paul Scofield like, is everything all right? Like, are you what? And like, they just stopped the interview and they're like, is everything okay at home? And she's like, I'm just had a really tough time with my family and stuff.
The accent makes it worse.
I'm on my meds. I'm on meds. And then she came out, and then she was like crying and stuff. She like blocked this interview because it's really hard. You might be able to find it now, but it was really hard to find on YouTube and online because they
Charles surged.
Yeah, he found it eventually.
Yeah, because it was really funny. Because I remember seeing it live, and I was like, "Wow, this is really funny."
Someone's mental
Schadenfreude again. Yeah.
It's funny watching.
You're like, does she cry? Can I get a zoom?
She did cry.
Can I get a sample of those tears?
Yeah. But her defense was, she came out next day and she gave a press statement. She said it was a joke. I was joking. Because I was joking. It was a joke. She goes, I was pretending to be depressed.
Oh God. Yeah. Have you said the Trump thing where he was saying all that stuff at the
what about the bleach and then being that it was
at the rally, and he was saying like they all come out and said no, he was joking, can't you tell a joke? And then he went out and said no, I don't tell jokes. So now they're like sort of, well, fuck's sake, well, he wasn't joking about that, he was joking about the other thing. And you go, Jesus Christ, it must be so hard to work around him. We've just told them you were joking. Don't go out and say I don't joke, because now we have to go out and say, well,
there's a whole like in the small cottage industry of people who have to go around and apologize for him and explain. Actually, what he meant by this was this, and this. I remember when he said, Obama founded ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. Yeah. They said. Everyone said, well, obviously he didn't actually mean he literally founded ISIS. It means that he created the set of circumstances in Syria, in Iraq, where ISIS grew. You know what I mean? Through the foreign policy. And then he went, no, I didn't mean that. I mean, he literally founded ISIS. Yeah. And they're like, oh, for fuck. They're like, oh, fine,
like,
whatever.
Crazy old Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
Because Michelle and Barack Obama would quite often do this thing where they would fist bump one another. And they said, that's a well-known Hezbollah greeting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it was just like, what, so Hezbollah have infiltrated? He's a Hezbollah agent? Is that what you're...
I remember Fox doing a whole bit. They go, what does this mean? And they had to do a full breakdown and analysis of the fist bump, the history of the fist bump, where it came from. And they're like, breaking news, fist bump. Oh, God, they have to do a whole thing about what it was, because obviously, like, fucking Grandpa Simpson sat there watching like Fox News, just lost his mind when he saw like two brown people fist bumping.
It is mad. Like, you think, when I wonder what it would be like if people that you actually personally admired, like, were in charge. Like, that was the nature of politics. Like, all those people went to the top and run the, like, think how much more decent the world would be if you had like the New Zealand Prime Minister and the Bernie Sanders, and it was just like that. Like, the cream literally did rise to the top rather than the poison. But it's been on for so long that it's now normal. Like, we've got used to it. The fucking insanity of that.
I think that several of the issues now, I think like things like coronavirus, I could see something like coronavirus. I could see America taking more of a lead, even under George Bush or someone. I could see them taking more of an international lead. Yeah. And this has been
but they're just isolationist now, aren't they?
Yeah. This has certainly been an issue. And I even under you name most presidents, like in the last 30, 40 years, they'd have said, right, well, okay, we need to set up a task force, international cooperation. We need to share information. You know, we need to take a global response to this.
Throw money at it.
We need to take a global response to this global issue. You know what I mean? And certainly one of the problems that that's exacerbated this situation, especially coronavirus, is the everyone's dealing with it in these little pockets in very different ways. You know, there's no cooperation.
Well, I mean, I think part of that plays into Trump's. His whole thing is it's us versus them. It's me against the world. It's everyone against me. It's all opposition, isn't it? That's all he can.
Yeah, do. I mean, he's not even. His party don't even matter. It's just him. And who supports me? The coronavirus deaths, Republicans are irrelevant. It's just whatever suits me at any time.
Yeah, it's just us versus. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, and that's what his whole.
Somebody was saying online with him sort of saying, I'm going to pardon this person, the Roger Stone thing, and let another guy out. He said, that's not about loyalty to them even. That's just sticking the fingers up at people he doesn't like. Yeah. Like, he doesn't even care about the people he's trying to help.
It's like Obamacare, isn't it? Repealing that is just because it's known as Obamacare. And Obamacare made fun of him one time at a dinner.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. That's the whole, like, that is...
Right, let's get off of politics. We're always going about bloody Trump and politics. Tell me something good. What's going on in your world? Andrew, what have you been up to? Charles has got a frog. We know that. He's been down the fairground.
It's a crocodile. It's a crocodile.
Crocodile. Have you got a little a bag of fish next to it with like a goldfish in it that you won?
Oh God, it's coming closer.
Are you on medication at the moment, Charles?
Oh, it's got glasses. I didn't even realise it had little glasses on.
Okay.
Look how pleased he. I don't think I've ever seen him looking so happy.
He's just won it. No, it looks more like I can see the snout now, so it is more.
Yeah, now we've got perspective. Yeah,
it is funny that why have they given him glasses? Why have they made him myopic?
But also, why are the glasses in the middle down? Isn't like he can't even. I mean, we talk about the logic of a cuddly toy crocodile, but the glasses he has to stare. He has to go cross-eyed to look through them.
Right, this is doing nothing for the podcast. Do you want to
this is only
about
for the YouTube listeners.
But you do look happy, Charles. It is good. Did the doctor give you at the hospital?
Yeah, like he didn't have enough lollipops.
Yeah, have you given him a name?
He's just Crocodile.
Crocodile. Okay.
Right.
Oh, he looks a bit more subdued now. He's gone to sleep. Before he was looking over your shoulder.
Okay.
He was like, if you tell them anything about them, I will fucking kill you.
I found the worst film on Amazon.
Hey!
I did it. I kind of broke my brain a bit these past few days. It was called Adventures of a Plumber in Outer Space.
Oh wow!
Is this a porn film? That sounds like a porn film.
Yeah, it sounds
okay. Okay, no, but it felt like it was. It had the production value of a porn, and I was like, is everyone going to start fucking in a minute? And then just like it never got round to that. But it was obviously a pastiche. It was supposed to be
terribly disappointed.
At least something would have happened. It might have made it a bit more interesting. Honestly, like it was supposed to be a pastiche of like Confessions of Window Cleaner, and the Confessions films. Yeah.
But why is the plumber gone into space?
I mean, I've not watched them, but I kind of know what they're about.
I've watched a bit of one or two, but they're like kind of more sex.
I watched a bit of one or two.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah, because he's been like Channel 5 and what is? Okay. I was like, is this porn?
Just fast forwarded.
I was like, what is this? Like, because I was just didn't know what the hell it was. You know what I mean? They're big. There's loads of them. They were quite big, but they're just kind of like carry-on films with actually tits in them, basically.
Who was the guys at Martin? The guy with the big eyes was always in those sort of ones.
Marty Feldman.
Marty Feldman.
No, Marty Feldman was a class act. He was a decent. Okay. Yeah, he's actually a good comedian.
I thought he did some he was a window cleaner sort of thing, looking through. Yeah, he did. I'm sure he did. But anyway, go on. Yeah.
But yeah, this was a film. I got really into this because I was just like, who made this? And I was like, I went and did a deep dive on the producer and the director and stuff. Because this was a film. It said it was made. It said it was released 2019 on Amazon, and then on IMDb it said 2009. But it was quite clearly shot on VHS.
Oh right, okay.
So I'm like, I don't think like a film.
So that's on Amazon.
Yeah.
You mean Amazon Prime or Amazon just selling the marketplace?
Amazon Prime. It's free with Amazon Prime.
Get on there? Right, I'm putting our pilot on. I'm going to go to Amazon.
Yeah.
If that doesn't get on.
Honestly,
no, don't put it on because we won't be able to get distributed. Like, do that. That's the last resort. Right. Because anyone, like, as long as it meets a very low threshold of technical specifications, you can put anything on there. Just about.
Oh right, I didn't know.
This was 40 minutes long, and they struggled to make the 40-minute mark. There was a chase at the end. Everyone chased each other in Benny Hill style.
Did their clothes come off as they were running? Or...
there was a gorilla turned up at one point.
Oh right. I
could see what they were trying to do. Okay, and it wasn't supposed to be serious, but it was the complete. It was so bad on a technical level, like the audio, the sounds, the fact it was shot on VHS, the acting. It was just so bizarre. And they just ended up with a dance number where everyone's dancing for 5 minutes just to fill time. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, honestly, it kind of broke me, that film.
Have you done? How many have you watched? You must have watched about 20 odd.
I would have been watching loads of crappy films. I watched Pass Through a couple of days ago, and I haven't been able to sleep properly since.
You watched what? Sorry,
Pass Through. It is Neil Breen's fourth film.
Oh yeah, I like his second album.
Neil Breen is a insane middle-aged Las Vegas architect who also makes insane films.
I think I'm. Is he Manos?
Who am I?
Is he the
what
Manos
am
guy?
I? What?
Is he the Manos guy? You know, Manos Hands of Fate. Is he that guy?
No, he's not Manos Hands of Fate. Manos was a bet, but
we all lost.
Yeah.
Oh, well
Manos,
done, Andrew.
the guy did Manos.
Gotta write that down.
He met some Hollywood scriptwriter. The legend is he met some Hollywood scriptwriter in a bar and said, "Oh, I could do your job. It's piece of piss, whatever. It's easy just to write a film." And he's just like, it's not that. He goes, "I bet I could make a film for, I think it was like $5,000 in a week." And he's just like, "All right then." And so this guy went off and just made this terrible, nonsensical, bizarre film, and in the week for no money, and the whole thing is ADR'd. Doesn't make any sense, but it does have the character Torgo in it, who is the incel mascot.
When you finish watching these, what's your mindset? What's your mindset when you finish watching? Like, I don't know why I did that. But I'm glad. It's like when when I'd try and finish work, I went through a sort of phase of watching the Star Treks just to try and sort of put myself to sleep at night, but like stop doing work, and it worked because it was quite sort of. It does feel like you're taking an LSD pill, like when you watch it. It's everything else around it stops, and it's nothing. Your brain completely forgets, and then when it would finish, I would sort of get up and sort of walk calmly to the bed and get into the bed and sleep. Going, I don't know what just happened, but I'm going to sleep. So I don't know what did you get from all these films? Are you like what?
They are bizarre and hilarious and nonsensical, and like there's always a bit like the Neil Breen film Pass Through was so goddamn weird. I'm in lockdown here at my home, and I made my mum watch it with me, and she was just like for a couple of days afterwards, she'd just be going, "Oh, I'm just going to make a cup of tea," and then she'd be like, "Why did the woman have a tiger tattoo on her back, and then there was a tiger?" She just suddenly a question would just hit her. She'd be like, "Why did he give the children diamonds? Were they supposed to be diamonds or gems? And why would that prove that he was an AI from the future?" And I'm just like, these are all real things that happen. And she would just be driving along and go, why is this? Why did he walk through the wall? Is he going back in time? Is he going forward in time? What? How did he cure the man of his
explained to her,
PTSD?
these sort of films you can't enjoy by asking questions. You must let questions go. You'll only serve to cause yourself problems.
The answer to all those is because Neil Breen.
Yeah.
Why did Neil Breen cure cancer? Because he's Neil Breen. Why was Neil Breen walking through walls? Because he's Neil Breen. Why was all those attractive ladies wanting to have sex with Neil Breen? Because he's Neil Breen.
Yeah, I had a similar thing last night. I had from my brother watching a couple of other. So he was watching Rise of Skywalker and then Venom, and giving me running commentary on both.
Interesting double bill.
Yes, his view of Rise of Skywalker was that it was fine, but as a standalone, but didn't make sense with the rest of the films.
Yeah,
and
true.
with Venom, and I said, they need to put this on the poster. The quote was, let me see if I can find it. It's such a good.
Venom was due, but Venom was the best film 1995 never made. I mean, it felt so
It was
dated.
good when that Tom, what's his name?
Hardy.
When he's on the screen, it's a good film. As soon as the CGI or he's not on the screen, it's shit.
It had moments where you could see what they were trying to do, and you were like, "Oh, this is kind of working," and then it would just suddenly just shit the bed. And you go
on, Andrew. So this is your quote about Venom, is it?
This is my brother's summary. Unless you're pissed on the sofa late at night with nothing else to do, it's not worth a watch.
Was that Barry Norman?
Yeah, exactly. I said, I can put that on the poster.
What was the BBC film night? You used to have Barry Norman, Jonathan Ross. What was it called?
It would just be film and then whatever the year was.
Yeah.
Is that still on?
I don't know actually, because it was Claudia Winkleman, wasn't it, towards the end? Right. But I think they
haven't seen it on. Yeah, I haven't seen it on for a couple of years. They did have it on a year or two ago. But they tends to mostly be, what's his name? Teddy boy guy.
John Higgins.
Coming
on in a couple of weeks.
Mark Commode.
Yeah. He still has his
is that the one that looks like Elvis Costello?
News.
He's got the
there's some Teddy boy there.
Yeah, on BBC News they have he does the film review still,
and
he still does the podcast,
Radio 5.
I always get him and Mark Lamar confused. Do you remember Mark Lamar?
Mark Lamar had a similar thing going on.
Yeah, same sort of age, I think. Yeah. What is that? Rockabilly sort of? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I suppose rockabilly. Yeah,
Teddy boy kind of
Teddy boy. That's
I also had my girlfriend watching Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom that we were discussing last week, and again doing the same thing of like, why are they doing this? Where's this lava coming from? Why is that? And I said to her at one point, I just said, because it says so in the script. That's the only answer that I can give you. She's like, so why is the kid a clone? Why are they gas chambering these dinosaurs?
Is there any talk about a new Jurassic Park film?
That's starting up. They're saying that's going to be the first big blockbuster to go back into production after post-lockdown. So they're talking that they're going to put in all these measures. Everyone's going to have checks regularly, sort of temperature checks and all that kind of thing. Everyone's going to be swabbing relentlessly. They're going to have all sorts of social distancing going on. It's going to be very odd. Bear in mind it's CGI. They're running from dinosaurs that aren't there, so it doesn't really matter.
There's only three actors in the whole film.
Exactly. So they're only running anyway. So
they're making a new Matrix film, aren't they? They're doing a new Matrix film.
Yes. With only one of the Wachowskis, I believe. I don't think it's both. Okay. I don't think it's both
really?
Siblings. Yeah.
Why would the other one not want to be part of it?
I don't know. Could be they just gone. I'm done.
And
with
apparently,
this
the Danny Boy, the 28 months later is going ahead. Like they said, they've come up with a great idea, and so they're going to go ahead with it.
Okay, make it a trilogy then.
There was quite a gap between 1 and 2, wasn't there? I seem to recall 28 days. Like there was quite a few years. I'm not as long as now between 2 and 3.
Just don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, they were good. That was good. Yeah, they were good.
I've got no. They were 28 days later. Really, to me, was the best zombie horror film. Even because if you go back and watch the Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead, you go. I remember watching it as a kid. But now there's so many things wrong with it. I don't think what's his name, Romero. I think he was just. I think he made a couple of good films like Night of the Dead, but I think he was running on fumes after that. So when you did like Land of the Dead, you go,
oh, that's terrible. The first 3 films are solid, and I like the first 3 films because they're all very different.
Yeah, but I just think he was good at one thing, and then he's trying to replicate it, and it doesn't work. So I think
it always leans so much on the it's
I think it was just good at the time.
It's a satire with the film underneath, and you go, I think you've got that the wrong way round. I think the satire needs to come underneath. You need to tell your story and have the satire underneath. That's
the Day at the Dawn. What was the one in the shopping precinct? Dawn.
That's
Dawn.
Day. Yeah. Oh no, that's Dawn. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. It was that when he said he basically wanted to make like a comic book version of a whole zombie film, and I thought when he got the pies in the face and all that, and they were so slow that you think there was no threat. What you've got to watch it as a 12-year-old. Otherwise, you're just thinking there's no threat here. Just walk around them. They can't even catch you up.
That's what I thought about the remake, The Dawn of the Dead. I thought I'm actually scared of these zombies.
Yeah, they're going to get you. If you need to shift, otherwise you're going to get caught. Not, well, I can walk around them and put a pie in its face and walk up. There's no threat here. There's no threat.
Well, but I like that because it's so goddamn weird. They just like have a pie fight at the end, and you're like, what is going on?
And
you
then
wouldn't
get
that in a mainstream film. You just wouldn't get that. And like, I just like that sensibility of it. Like they just kind of going, what can we get away with? What can we do? Let's have a pie. Bikers turn up and have a pie fight. Screw it, why not?
Then someone starts going dun 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 dun, like fucking Bugsy Malone.
But I never understood that. I remember watching it as an adult and going, why don't they just walk away from them and leave?
Yeah,
what's this? What's the big threat? That I think. What was it? What was the one? I think it was with Dawn of the Dead. He was actually supposed to have a bigger budget. He was supposed to have a lot more of them. He was playing on the numbers. So if they're going to be slow, there's got to be tens of thousands of them. If there's only a couple of hundred in a scene, you go, well, you could just walk round them. It doesn't. There's no threat here. Whereas look what the difference with like 28 days later. You could have one, and you go, right, you've got to fucking run. You've got to move now. Do you know what I mean? So that felt to me like that was the best zombie film ever in terms of what it stands for. I think the other ones only work when you're young. I mean, if they've got the deeper meaning of the racism in one and capitalism or consumerism in the others. But when he did Land of the Dead, that was about capitalism. That was just.
Is that the one with Dennis Hopper?
Yeah. That was just like, you're the same bloke that made them other films. Why are you making this shit? Like, it doesn't work. There's a couple of nice little scenes in it, but it's like, it felt like RoboCop, and it had that weird sort of everybody's over the top. Who's the guy that does all the over the top shootings and the blood squibs and all? What's the director?
Verhoeven.
Yeah, it felt like
Paul Verhoeven.
He was doing all that, but without the violence. It was all this weird stuff and the CGI and.
Yeah, he certainly. I mean, Romero isn't.
He's not the genius everyone makes him.
No. He did. He did a couple of good films, and I think that I said those first 3 Dead films are really good. That trilogy.
The fact that they were the first 3 sort of proper zombie films, I think that's what gives him his genius thing. I don't think it was that good. I think they were just the first, and you were at the right age.
I've seen like the Crazies and stuff. He has done a lot of films and stuff. I've seen the Crazies. All right. People go on about that. I didn't love it, but like he's done a whole bunch of other films, and most of them were pretty forgettable. You know.
Yeah. So I think he did something a good idea at the time when there wasn't a lot around, and they were, the racism thing. And I thought, but after that, it was just running on fumes, mate. He wasn't this genius. He didn't come up with these amazing ideas. I still think if you want to do humour. Because it doesn't work in Day of the Dead, I don't think. Dawn of the Dead. He only got that shopping centre because his mate's dad owned the shopping centre.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just go about luck. There you go again, just like who you know. Right? Otherwise, that film didn't get made. But I think Return of the Living Dead did the humour well because it's a very. Is this
the sort of offshoot, wasn't it?
No. It was a completely different film, different director, everything. It was. It's the one on the graveyard. Do you remember? Return of the Living Dead.
Is that the one where they burn the bodies and then
the gas leak? The gas that leaks out the canister. Because that was quite.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, you got to watch it. It's quite a stupid film. Like the characters in it are silly. But you go, it works. The context of it done. If you ever, it's Return of the Living Dead 2. I think that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to Google it because you got to watch it.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that it's like Zombie.
Yeah.
With an eye, like I think it's been called lots of different things in different countries. Because like Zombie was Return of the Living Dead. It's really complicated.
I'll tell her no, it's Return of the Living Dead. So if you haven't seen Return of the Living Dead, go and see it. It's a funny film.
Yeah.
Can you YouTube? It's a trailer. Well, make sure you watch it, Andrew. It's quite a good horror film. Let's get off of films anyway, because John Higgins will be turning in his grave. Excuse the pun.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, we at time of recording, John Higgins is fine. And John Higgins is our resident film critic, not the snooker player, snooker champion.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get John to tweak his name a little bit, just so it doesn't appear in the listings.
He can be John K. Higgins.
Yeah,
regardless of whatever it is.
He might have, yeah. How long have you been recording for? Charles, is that a knock at your front door? I can hear. Do you want to go and check? Oh, he's not caught on, no.
No.
What? Do you want to go to the toilet? Is what I'm saying.
No, I'm all right. Actually. I'm good. Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
I've got it. The signal should be if you need to go to the toilet, you take the crocodile off the work counter.
The crocodile is off the work counter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
Do you know? I've just completely forgotten. Where did you get that crocodile from?
I won it in a competition.
What recently? I mean.
No, like Kinder Egg. It was a Kinder Egg thing when I was like, I think my mum entered it.
But it looks new. If you kept it clean.
It's normally in a cabinet.
Seen it.
Yeah.
No, well, he was on top of the thing. He was covered in dust, like thick dust.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what have you been up to, Charles? Your stomach, you're feeling all right now? You've tip-top goo, or are you just still in pain?
I went to Reading for the first time in 3 months.
Hang on, where are you now?
Outside of Reading.
Oh, so why'd you go into Reading? I thought you were in Reading.
Well, I live outside, so I went into Reading. I went to the comic book shop.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, bought some comics.
Are they distancing? Are you getting little feet sellotapes, like 2 feet apart on the floor?
It's a comic book shop here. They don't need to worry about social distancing.
There's only one a week.
He's not getting a lot of traffic in Bessie. Okay. But there was a desk and stuff. You couldn't go into the shop. You sort of he had a desk at the front door, and you sort of had to like lean over and sort of go, "Oh, can I get that and that and that?" And you go get it. So,
what's it like going into a comic book store? Do you have like a little bell that opens? Ding ding. You open it up.
Just depends. Okay. Like the ones in London are fairly busy. So I mean,
I went past a shop in North London the other day, and it was a Warhammer. You know them ones?
Games Workshop.
And I was thinking, how is that paying the rent? How is that paying a mainstream high street? How is that that's got to be like drug dealers or something, because that's got to be like a phony shop to sort of like funnel money through.
I'm sure we've talked about this before, but they're insanely expensive, those sets.
They're incredibly expensive now.
But
they always were expensive, but like they are mad expensive now, yeah.
What are you buying though? It's toys.
Yeah, you're buying the models, and then because it's sort of role play game, where it's like, oh, my space marines are going to attack your space orcs, and all. Because I used to do Warhammer.
Is it a board game? Is it a board game?
Essentially, yeah. It's a board game without a board. So,
but is it now on computers, or is it just a board?
Well, I suppose Warcraft is essentially the game of Warhammer, isn't it? Although it's very much a rip-off, isn't it? Warcraft.
Yeah.
Of Warhammer.
And it's all Tolkien, isn't it? It's all.
Do they play it in the shop?
You can play in the shop. Yeah.
And you can, I don't understand.
Sometimes
you don't pay to play. It's just to encourage,
So how is the shop making money? By selling little models?
Yeah, selling the models, selling
like
the paints.
chess pieces.
They're almost like buying toy soldiers. So that's essentially what it is, toy soldiers. And then but it's stuff like, you roll the dice, and that's I can't remember things. But it's like you roll the dice, and that's how far your troops can move. So say, I don't know, whatever. I mean, this is a crash course in it, but like, these particular soldiers means you get 3 rolls of because they're wearing armor. They can only roll 3 dice.
So there's a whole world around in it.
Yeah, and it's like
rule books.
Massive rule books. They have White Dwarf. White Dwarf is the magazine. Quite impressed I managed to pull that out.
Who owns this thing? Is it
Games Workshop is the company.
I believe
Citadel
or something, wasn't it?
Oh, Citadel, you're right,
Citadel had the thing, and but I think they do own the Games Workshop, the shops.
Yeah.
But I think Citadel was the sort of PLC of that.
Bloody hell, they're still earning money.
And you got games like Space Crusade and board games like Space Crusade, and what was the other one?
If I get the money together, I would like to have a house with a room that had arcade machines in it. That would be fucking great, man. Nothing past 2000 either. It's got to be like the original WWF, RoboCop, Street Fighter.
I looked up? Oh, sorry. I looked up that it's you ever see Silent Scope?
No.
Silent Scope was the one with the sniper rifle.
Yeah. Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like like the gun.
I know the one with the duck. The ducks.
Yeah, you get the gun games where you have the gun, and you can do Time Crisis had the bit where you had the foot lever where
the pedals, wasn't it? Yeah.
The pedal, where you had the pedal, and you press the pedal down, you popped up out of cover and shot people. And this one had the sniper rifle, and it zoomed in, so you could only see. That one, So it was really cool.
Really?
You had like a really zoomed out kind of cityscape. And then you'd have to look down the barrel of the rifle through a scope in order to get like a zoomed in bit, and you had to take you had like 2 bullets or something, and you had to take like a shot. It was great.
What did you say, Andrew?
But the arcade thing was £1,100.
Yeah, they ain't cheap.
Not bad. Well, I think that's not bad.
Yeah, and quite a few places you can find these. They call them pinball museums, but they also often have arcades. My father and I, when we were in Warsaw, Krakow last year, we just stumbled across one, and we were late night. We were a bit pissed as well, and we said, let's go in and see, because my housemate loves pinball machines, and I thought, well, it's not gonna, it's Poland, nothing costs anything at all anyway, let's go in and see what it's like, just so I can tell him. And we were the only people there. The guy was like, look, I'll give you we're closing in an hour and a half, so I'll give you a discount. And we just had this whole arcade to ourselves, and you basically pay, you have a wrist strap on, a bit like you've gone to a festival, but nowhere near as cool. And we were just playing arcade games. Because we were the only ones there, we were playing we'd have like a whole arcade to ourselves, so you'd have a gun in each hand, just going berserk.
Jesus Christ.
Just be like, shooting at the Terminator or the aliens. Or we played Time Crisis. I mean, they had some really retro pinball machines in there, but it was great fun, and it's good. It's quite good value just playing. The guy was like, look, if you'd come on a normal day, you could have just paid when we opened at whatever 11 in the morning, and that's it, 11 till 11. You could be in there.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Theo, you want one of them, do you?
Yeah, that'd be great. But again, none of the modern stuff. It's got to go back. I mean, not talking Pac-Man, but I want to be wrestling with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
That's just standard.
I don't any WWE shit. I want WWF plastered on the side of the machine.
You want the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. Outrun, driving game. Street Fighter, the first one.
Streets of Rage.
I don't remember that one.
That might have been console. That might be
Mortal Kombat. I always found a bit tacky. I thought I was just ripping heads off, and that's when I just never paid any attention to any computer games after that. Once people start getting raped and murdered and heads ripped off, I sort of tapped out.
Who was getting raped?
No, what's that film where that game where you nick a car?
Oh, there's Grand Theft Auto where you nick cars. Yeah,
fucking
you beat
mental,
up people, don't you? Yeah,
you shoot policemen, run people over, and all this sort of stuff.
Well, that first Grand Theft, they're all good in their own ways, but that first one, I remember playing the demo, and I was like, what's this? And then we'd install it on my mate's computer, and then you're like, okay, he's getting a car, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm running people over, and I was like, oh no, the policeman's chasing me, and then I got out the car. The policeman got out his car and chased me. And I was like, hang on, I'll steal the police car. And then I was like, cool, I stole the police car. And then I was like, why don't I run the policeman over with his own police car? And I was like, this is amazing. I was just like, you can just do anything you want. And like, Christ. It was great fun, yeah. It was a 6-minute timed demo, and it was fantastic. You got 6 minutes to do anything you want in this city. It was great.
But it started getting stupid. I remember people telling me about the later games where you were doing like horrific things and there's prostitutes involved and all this. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you could have tanks as well, couldn't you? And
God. No. Yeah. I remember that when Mortal Kombat came out, the big kickoff about that, mate. Like, I remember everyone saying, Jesus Christ, this is like ridiculous.
Yeah, super violent, wasn't it? And now you look at it and you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's the same thing with Doom.
This pixel just punched this pixel.
Yeah.
My housemate's got the new version of Doom. Yeah, because the old version of Doom, you look at it and you're like, what even is this? It's just...
What am I looking at?
Yeah, and these things go like that, and that's them dead, but that's the horrid violence. But my housemate's got the... I don't know if it's the very latest Doom, but it is... I watched it, I watched him playing it, and I was like, wow, this is insanely violent. Like, genuinely... horrific, people getting blown in half and guts coming out and, ripping off their heads and, smashing their heads open with the butt of your gun. And it was insane. I don't
know if we spoke about it on the show or after the show last week with Kerem was talking about his, he was gardening or something on the computer game.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing?
Yeah, Animal Crossing.
He's probably dying to talk now, but he won't be able to be heard. So, but what is it?
It's like I suppose
is it a PG computer game?
Yeah, Zero Punctuation would call it a dad game.
Oh right.
In that it's kind of like it's
a married man game.
But it's kind of a game where you kind of do jobs and chores. You know what I mean?
It's like I can do that anyway. I'm going to hoover the house later. I don't need a computer game of that.
Yeah. But there's stuff. Some of these are very big, like Farm Simulator, a Euro Truck Driver, where you just drive a truck down the motorway for 9 hours.
They should have a computer game where you play a computer game. You sit and play a computer game in it.
There probably is one.
That's what it's coming to.
I'm trying to think, actually. I think there are... I'm sure I played a computer game where just as a kind of side mission, you go and play a game to win or something.
Right, there you go. So
it might have been like you play,
a game within a game.
Pinball, you go play pinball within the game. There's something like that. There must be.
God. Yeah, I'd love to have about 5 or 6 computer games, arcade machines in there. That would do. What would you have in there? If this is like a desert island download discs, but for like the modern generation? What arcade machines?
Arcade.
What 3 yards? No, it's got to be an arcade machine.
Gallagher.
What was that?
Is it Gallagher? Is that the one I'm thinking of? The one where you're the little spaceship and the bugs fly down in kind of geometric patterns and you have to zip along left to right. Yeah, I'd have that one.
You going for Mortal Kombat? You've mentioned it.
I'd have a fight game. I might go for the X-Men fight game they had.
Oh, right. Oh, that must have been pretty
was that
good.
Children of the Atom or?
I can't remember. I think it was I'm just thinking the original X-Men game. So it's very much like those ones where you walk along in a straight line on the street and a succession of baddies come and you just punch. Just sweep them and punch them in the face.
Double Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. But just because it's X-Men, it's quite cool.
That's what had Magneto saying weird stuff, yeah?
I think so, yeah. I think
saying all your base all belong to us.
What was the one that had well, I was going to say the big muscly bloke, a woman, but that's basically all of them. And then there was one that was an elf, and when you'd hit him on the head, it would go.
Do you mean Golden Axe?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
yeah, Golden Axe.
I was about that sound.
Yeah, Golden Axe is amazing. Did that, and you ride like a dinosaur, and you're like,
that's
yeah,
it. Yeah,
sure, why not?
And the little things run across and you hit the bag and like magic.
Yeah, the little like elves or something, weren't they? Or like I don't know what they were, pixies. I mean, was that an arcade game as well?
Yeah, that was an arcade.
I think that might have been, yeah.
Or then I'm definitely having Golden Axe. I might trade that for my X-Men game.
Oh. There was Dungeons and Dragons, which was same thing, side-scrolling beat 'em up, but it also had multiple paths. And it was actually kind of cool because you could pick up different weapons and like have multiple paths. So it was like a Streets of Rage style game, but actually like had lots of replay value because you could just do loads of different things with it.
Can we have Time Crisis?
Yeah, one of the Time Crisis.
Yeah, Time Crisis is great. It's where the foot pedal, so you're guided. You don't get to choose where you're going, as with many of these games. It sort of gives you the illusion that you're choosing where you're going. You just have a gun. You just have to shoot the baddies, but you have a pedal to duck and everything, and then you have to shoot off screen to read it. Oh, so great, so simple. Yeah, great. That's a great game. Yeah,
because they were just good times, man. Just
if we say these games enough, maybe we'll get a sponsorship deal for the office.
Yeah, but who did all them? What was the company that did all them?
Namco, wasn't it?
Yeah, Namco did. Yeah.
There was another one I think began with Namco. But yeah, I knew a guy in North London, and he had an arcade machine. He used to repair them, so we always had about 50 in there. So we could always go in there and sort of fuck around them for like 10p. I think we could put 10p in it then. Yeah, I mean, you can't even go on arcades. Do you get arcade machines anymore?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, they're like £3 each, though. They're probably ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're quite expensive. I mean, if you go into the Namco arcade in London. In central London.
Oh, they have got an.
It's great fun, but it's not. Actually,
is that Trocadero? Or?
Yeah, it's in the the one on the South Bank. Yeah,
going there for £200.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. Like you do, they don't charge crazy. Yeah, if you go to like the Palace Pier, some of the games on there, it's like £2-3 a go.
I'd have one driving game that you've got to get in and sit and possibly with a single gear change as well, high and low.
I liked all the ones. I like the gimmicky ones where you get like a gun or like you get to sit down with a steering wheel. I like those ones. You know what I mean? That's if I'm going to pay money in an arcade, that's what I want to have. A
motorbike league. That sort of stuff.
Alpine Racer. Do you ever play that?
Is that the slope?
Snowboard?
It was it was skiing. It was kind of like skiing.
So,
was it snowboard? I think it was skiing.
I think it was skiing. I think it was skiing.
I probably have, yeah.
And literally, you sort of put your feet down on the ski bits, and you sort of had to control it by swinging your legs around. I remember we were in a bowling alley for some reason when I was about like 10, and these guys had just installed the machine. And like they were like, and they were playing free goes on it. We'd never seen it before, so we were like, oh, that's pretty cool, yeah. And then they were like, we got to go, but the machine's set on free for the rest of the day. Do you just want to use it? And we're like, yeah.
So you didn't eat or sleep for the next.
We just played this. We played like this whole game just for free. Like I don't know how they did it, but they had maybe 50 goes or 40 goes, 20 goes. We did it for hours, and hours for free. It was great, yeah.
Oh. So what arcade machines would you stick in your Hall of Fame? You've got your wing of the house. You've got a nice house. The podcast's doing well. We've sold the rights to the pilot that we're doing. With what's it called in America when you get 10 seasons?
Syndication.
Yeah, we're sending it in syndication. You've got a home in Reading. You've got one in LA. You've had your side house built. The arcade machines. What do you want in there?
Crocodile got its own wing.
Yeah.
Is that all right, Crocodile?
Oh, yeah. That's my doorbell going.
Oh, do you need to use the toilet?
I might need to. No, I genuinely have a doorbell. I might have to run and go. You guys go on.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 words. Sega Rally.
Sega. What was that one now? Was that the Ferrari?
No. It was a rally one where you just kind of like smashed around in a rally car. It was great fun.
Well, you just smashed into each other?
No, not really. But like it was a racing game, but it was like a rally racing game. So it wasn't like. It wasn't like nice track, it wasn't like an F1 track. It was nice and even. It was sort of,
Oh, actually, so, I would have probably liked to have a zombie one in there. It's always good to have a zombie shoot 'em up in there. So what else would you go for?
No, House of the Dead or whatever, yeah.
No, Rising. No, not Rising. What's the film? Rising. I've got Rising Damp in my head.
I was going to say, Rising Damp.
Resident Evil. Something like that.
It was the House of the Dead was the shooting one. Sometimes, and some of those had shotguns as well, which is really cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what else are you going to bung in it? Give me another one.
Silent Scope was awesome.
What was Silent Scope?
That was the one with the sniper rifle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was something a bit more old school. You got to come back to the Street Fighter as the
what would be a really decent old school? I don't know. Yeah, the dungeons. Honestly, like I've got a version of it on my old Xbox, but I think it's Dungeons and Dragons thingy of Arcadia or something like that. Okay. Was really, really good. Like, and I would actually potentially do.
What's the earliest computer game you can think of? Like talking like pre-teen sort of, like how far back can you go?
I think one of the first games I played,
Spectrum, Commodore, Atari.
It was my mate's PC, and I remember we played like
PC.
Yeah, we played Duke Nukem, like the platformer.
Okay.
So not even the 2D platformer, and Wing Commander 1 and Loom. And a bit of Monkey Island as well afterwards. And I was just like, what? And like Day of the Tentacle and stuff. And like, I used to love all those point and click adventure games.
What was the little rat that used to run and flip and jump and the film made out? Blue. He's blue.
Oh, Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, the Hedgehog. Sonic the Rat Hedgehog.
Sonic the Rat. Yeah. What about you, Andrew? How far back can you go, computer games?
So the first computer console we had was the original Nintendo that we played with, but then so that had things like Mario Brothers, Gumshoe, which was with a private detective, and at one point you're dodging orca whales for some reason.
You had to shoot him to get him over stuff.
Yeah, it was very odd. But there was Duck Hunter too. But the oldest computer game I played was my parents dug it out of the loft. And it was absolutely brilliant. It was a Texas Instruments game console. So Texas Instruments, who used to make all the shitty calculators that you would have at school, they made a games console, and it had things like, so it did have things like Pong on it. I mean, I think like a rip-off. I'm not, real kind of like just lines and dots and things. They had a game called Wampa Stomper, which is where you had to go through a maze and find the Wampa before it found you. Right. So like an incredibly slow version of Pac-Man, essentially.
Oh, okay. Right.
It had something like Asteroids. There was all sorts of games like that, and it was dreadful but wonderful all at once because it was just about the gameplay. No, I think it probably knackered out. I mean, it's probably if it survived, it probably worth thousands now. But
that's what because that sounds rare, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it just knackered out.
That sounds like that's pre-tapes.
Yeah,
that's like old school cartridge.
Yeah. It was one my parents played when they first got married.
I remember having a Spectrum 48K, and that was tapes. I remember getting the magazine, you'd get the tape hanging off it, ripping the fucking front cover off.
Yeah.
This fucking great big tape hanging to, and you get like a Morris Minor and a Dizzy Egg.
Dizzy Egg.
Yeah. Geez. And the where the colours would actually blur. Like you could get them to blur. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, so what was the other? Frog when you had to get across the road.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just go.
I remember that one.
Frog or something like that, yeah.
That's when we had to cross the road.
Yeah, and you get splattered. It would just splat if the car would.
Simpler times.
Yeah, you think about it now. It's like, Jesus Christ. So in 20 years, we are talking about you're in the game, basically. Your virtual helmet.
20 years. I think it's going to be zapped into your brain in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you think it's going to be, it's always going to be much more than that. You're just going with your version, but things always speed up. So it won't even be a game. It will be something that's, Bluetoothed into your head. So your reality, it's not even a helmet. It'll just be in your reality, like taking an LSD pill.
Yeah.
But it'll just whatever you'll now see that thing.
Yeah, they'll have something like that, some lab in Silicon Valley or whatever that's done that already, but they've got to pass 11 billion, health and safety checks before they can put it to market.
Somebody will die, but then they'll overcome that. And
I mean, it's also how they can scale it down to the mass production. It's like because they can't have everyone having a lab.
No, the first wave of technology, you'll just have this big thing in the corner of your room that you go walking and there's a world in there.
Well, it's like we've got these VR headsets now that look quite small, but in 5 years' time we'll be like, what the fuck were we even doing?
Yeah.
When it'll be something like
contact lenses.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say though, VR still hasn't really caught on. I know it's still very expensive, but it's still bit bulky and still a bit.
Well, I think it's going
janky.
through just what computers were. You needed something that big that you can't put in a house, and it's £100,000 or more than that. It's just the price. It's just the chips have to come down, doesn't it? The microchips have to come down. Then you get the first wave of technology, which will be tens of thousands, but small. But then still, people aren't going to be able to afford it till it gets into the 1,000 or lower.
I think it might be like 3D or whatever. Because remember when home 3D, people started to get 3D TVs and stuff. Well, a few people did, and that looked like it was going to be a thing. Like you have to sit and watch TV with 3D glasses and just like have your eyes water all the time and get headaches. And it's just like when you're watching the
news.
Just a
nosebleed, just like, this great.
Yeah,
yourself.
This is terrible. And that didn't really catch on. I think VR does make a lot of people feel sick, and it can make even the hardest stomach feel a bit woozy and weird after a bit. I don't know if it's ever going to catch on.
I wonder. It might be that it might give you that sort of like some people just don't like heights. It'll give you that weird thing that your brain doesn't like, so it makes you feel sick.
Yeah, because it's just messing around with perspective and stuff, and your inner ear and your body doesn't like that. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be doing that. And
then some people will get addicted to it and just not eat and just live in the world and not want to come out. The full gamut of human beings will be unleashed onto virtual reality.
Have you seen Ready Player One?
No.
We're talking about films again. Ready Player One is just a film about people who live in this kind of virtual reality game. And it's done by Steven Spielberg.
It was okay.
Not by Spielberg, was it?
Yeah,
shit.
It was okay, but it was like I had so many questions about like the computer world. I was just like, how do people make money? I was just like, how does people are going out buying food, but then they spend all the time in the game. So they have jobs. I was like, can you just transfer your money over to someone else to stop you? If you were doing one of these games where you might die, wouldn't you just transfer your money over to your mates? And then if you did die, he could transfer it back to you.
And then your mum went, stop asking questions and just watch the film.
Yeah, it's Neil Breen, just go with it. I'm just like, okay,
it's Spielberg, just watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I think we'll knock it off there. We've gone back in time there. A nice little trip back in time.
No, that's wrong music.
Star Trek.
Yeah, we need a harp.
Yeah.
Harp for the flashback.
Well, we have got some new equipment, so maybe from next month, Kerem will be able to start playing some games with technology, because we're going to be doing some new stuff. Yeah, we've got a new bit of equipment. So next week we'll be back in the office for the all new
fighting through the crowds of zombies.
yeah. So I mean, it's not just like Dawn of the Dead. You just keep 2 feet away from them. Don't breathe the same air. Oh no, you couldn't. You can. That's just biting, isn't it? Zombies. What was the one? I get my Day and Dead's confused. So what was the one in the there was one in a cave or something underground.
Nuclear bunker. That's Day.
Yeah, that's Day of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead is the
shopping mall.
Yeah, and Day of the Dead was the black and white one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Day of the Dead then. I remember I've seen bits of it, but I don't remember seeing the film. What was the storyline there? I can remember Dawn of the Dead. It starts with a TV program, doesn't it? Everyone's panicking.
Yeah, Day of the Dead is that almost the whole world has been taken over at this point.
Much,
they're the last, they're tiny remnant of society living in this nuclear bunker.
And is it anything to do with Dawn of the Dead? Do they know?
Yeah, they sort of, they're all, I mean, all of them are not they're very much in the same universe, but they don't say, oh, this is what, there's no acknowledgement of what happened previously, but it's meant to be the sense of a continuation.
There's no overlapping characters, but it's set in the same world.
I've seen Day of the Dead now. I'm trying to think about it. I remember all the other ones.
Gruesome. It's probably the most graphic and violent of them, certainly. And it's kind of grimy. It's got a grimy feel to it. I really like it. It's not my favorite of the three, but I really like it. It's got this grotesque kind of dirty, grimy feel to it, and it makes you just feel like horrible watching it.
I'll have to look that up.
It's good. I think it's on YouTube actually.
So John's coming back in on the 19th. We're going to be doing sci-fi films with him. So I have to sort out how he's going to do that. But so next Sunday we'll be back in the studio for the all-new Vialucci podcast. We'll be explaining to you why we're all new.
You can explain to us as well.
Yeah, I was going to tell you. I'm talking to Kerem, you, and Charles. Yeah. But yes, it's going to be a new revamped show. Oh, mind you, I've got to talk to you after we hang up. But yeah, so there you go. We've taken you back in time there. Sorry, but we didn't have the effects there. No, that's Batman, isn't it? What was the one?
No, that's
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Island.
What was what was Batman? Yeah, that would go to. Well, there you go. Yes, we've taken you back. If you're under 50, you won't know what we're talking about. So once again, we're a geriatric audience.
Got our finger on the pulse of pop culture.
60
When was that?
plus.
60s? Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that's the show, and so thank you very much. And we'll be back next week for the all-new Vialucci podcast. Which I'll explain to you about now.
Guaranteed.
Be there and be square.
Yeah. That's it. Oh, well done, Charles. That's very nice. So that's it. So thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Cheers.
Cool. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.